Welcome, everybody, to Ignite Humanity Live. I'm your host, Lady JB Owen. I'm happy to be here talking about ways to ignite humanity. So many powerful and exciting things we can do to ignite humanity. I will share that I've been doing some traveling recently, and it's interesting to see how sometimes people are just feeling a little bit on task, on robot, on autopilot. And really, what I'd love to share is the theme of today is all about awaken, to wake up to what's possible, to wake up to what we can do, and even to wake up to being more connected and interactive with people. We're so busy just getting things done that we're losing that human connection. And one of the ways that we do that is through the power of storytelling. When we share our personal stories and we talk about ourselves and some of the things that we've done to overcome our challenges, and when we talk about it in a positive way, we actually empower those people around us. And so this show is really about how our own individual stories have impacted us in a beautiful way that has made us want to ignite humanity. We all have the power to ignite humanity. Each and every one of us can uplift another, and that creates a ripple effect. And the show is all about stories of other individuals who are igniting humanity and something that you can learn from them, a takeaway that you can take home and do in your life to ignite your world. And that's going to make humanity a much better place. All right, let's meet our amazing guest. We're all the way over to South Africa today. And our guest, Alison Via, is a distinguished entrepreneur, speaker, writer, transformative coach, and the author of her acclaimed book, Belonging. Her journey encapsulates the triumphant tale of overcoming depression, anxiety, and emotional eating. Embracing the role of an athletic ambassador, Alison advocates for a life free from diet restrictions, filled with joy and sensuality, symbolizing the essence of personal rejuvenation. Alison's profound journey towards liberation has significantly fortified her faith. She is dedicated to sharing her compelling narrative on various platforms, inspiring others to unleash their potential within their own stories and embark on a path of self-discovery and empowerment. Delighted to have her here. So grateful. Welcome to the show, my sweet.
So lovely to be here, JB.
Yes, and I hope the fans can feel the love between us. Alice and I are good friends. We've met a few years ago, and we were just recapping on the pre-show. It's been 5 years since we've had the blessings to see each other, but we were sort of joking around. We see each other on Facebook, and we're always commenting back and forth, so it doesn't feel like I haven't seen you in person in that long, but it's so good to have you on the show, and I know we're going to have some fun. Let's talk a little bit about the magic that you are creating in the world. You are igniting humanity for sure. Tell us a little bit about your fantastic zone of genius.
Well, 5 years ago, I didn't think I had a story to tell. And I remember seeing you in the auditorium of Mind Valley, and you were super confident and you were doing a video. And I remember looking at my husband and saying, imagine being that confident. Well, what a journey I have walked in the last 5 years, JB. It's been nothing short of surreal, nothing short of surreal. A faith-led journey that has led me to almost become a different person over the last 5 years. And so the work I do now is so very different to my work as an entrepreneur. And yes, I do entrepreneurial speaking and writing and coaching, but my journey has become one of being a very vulnerable storyteller. Stands on stage and writes with her pen. And I literally write naked in that sense, in the sense of really pouring out the journey of the last 5 years and how dramatically that moment of awakening came. Because Mind Valley for me was an awakening. It was an awakening that I had a story to tell. And it was an awakening to the courage to start to tell that story. So since then, it's been summits, speaking, writing. From the shy person who hung back at the back of that auditorium, I've stepped into a different space, but it's been led by faith. And it's only my faith that gives me the courage to do what I do literally every day.
Yeah. Let's talk about that a little bit, because when we met, beautiful, so just loved our energy, loved talking with you, felt that kindred spirit. But you do share that you were, at the back of the room, you were maybe not feeling as confident. You didn't feel like you had a story. And then you were very brave and very courageous to write in one of our books. Allison's
Yes.
story is in Ignite Your Female Leadership. Tell me a little bit, or talk to the audience a little bit about that willingness to go from, I don't know if I can do it, till I'm going to try it, until I got through it. What was the catalyst, or what was the self-talk? What was the sort of the push that made you realize now was the time?
Yes, it was a sense of, when I was younger, I did write a little bit, and I was even a journalist for a while, but so many voices had closed down my self-esteem. And so it was after Mind Valley that somebody said, you need to write in the Ignite series. I think it will unlock your voice. I remember even having a coffee with the lady who told me that. And so something in my soul said, it's time. It's time. It's time to stop hiding and step into the courage I'd seen in all the storytellers on stage. But honestly, the journey with you and that first Ignite book was really pivotal to unlocking my voice, because you led me down a journey, and the way you wrote was so from the heart. It was so real. The way you wrote about parenting, everything was just so real and so honest. And so you allowed me to step into an honest version of myself that I hadn't had in 59 years. In 59 years. And so that birthed, and just the way you helped me craft, I realized that I was a wordsmith. I just denied it for so many years. I'd been told I was too flamboyant, I was too dramatic, I was too shy, I was too this, I was too that, I was too everything. But somehow in that journey with you, in that first chapter, I unlocked that I am a writer. And since then, I just write all the time. And I wrote my book, which is more than it. I wrote it over 2 long years. And that was an awakening in itself, because writing heals you. Writing heals your journey. And so I wrote for 2 long years over lockdown, my own book. And it's more than a memoir. It's not a memoir per se. It deals with my background and growing up in apartheid South Africa and being a political activist for 20 years. And it covers all the journey of that. But really what it did was uncover the courage to own my story, which I'd never done before. And I think when I stood poised at the outside of Mind Valley Talon, there was a poster there that said, be extraordinary. Well, I could not have felt more ordinary. But something in that journey made me realize that actually I've lived quite an unusual life. And so that journey became an inspiration to others to own their story. And that's been my journey over the last 5 years, is encouraging other people to awaken, to own their story, and to step into the magnificence of who they were meant to be.
My heart is just like so swelling with pride and joy and love and appreciation and gratitude. Thank you so much for all of that. And that is the epitome of an Ignite moment. When something, that be extraordinary sign, that moment when you looked up, that vision, that idea, that awakening in you, that's the Ignite moment. That's the power of saying, I'm going to say yes to this. And that's what we love, that hero's journey. And yet some people decide, I'm not ready, I'm still waiting, I need more time. You said yes. You have just shone and soared, and so many great things that are unfolding. Now you're helping other people, and we speak the same language because we know the power of storytelling. Give their viewers some suggestions. How can they start to dip into their story, even sometimes, and you alluded to this, sometimes the story is painful, sometimes the story is difficult. how can people start using their story, as their badge of honor and as their I don't know what that is, like they've been gifted something from their story that will help them, their angel wings, for example.
I think it starts with just plopping the words onto a page without any judgment, without one iota of judgment, but knowing that you taught me this, knowing that you're not showing it to anybody. It's your inner journal. It's your inner heart speaking. And then once you craft and recraft, every time you revisit your story, it becomes a bit lighter and deeper and more in alignment with why your soul came here. What I found is every time I've revisited my story, it becomes more healed. It becomes more healed. And eventually you're speaking from such a powerful position because you are completely healed. And so my advice to people who have that, I was so nervous to tell my story. I was worried, what would my family think? Would I honor that one enough? Would I? Because it was a deeply, deeply personal story. I spoke about internal fraud we had in the company. I spoke about bulimia. I spoke about emotional eating. I spoke about my bipolar father and the journey of that. I really claimed it all, but I did it with so much love. I wrote with so much love, because that's what writing does. When you allow the love to flow through you, it crafts words that you didn't know you had inside of your soul. And there were times when I was writing my book, I thought, this isn't coming of me, this is coming through me. And so if you don't start, you'll never know what's inside of you.
And do you find that people have reached out to you and complete strangers have told you how your story has truly impacted them in a very intimate way that you didn't expect? Have you had that kind of experience?
Absolutely. Time and time and time again. People have said to me, reading your book changed my life. I didn't think I had a story to tell. Or they would say, when they heard me speak and I speak my message, they would say, I knew I came to this talk today for a reason. It was to hear your message. I get that almost every time I speak. That's why I've got goosebumps as I'm talking to you. It's not palpable. It's words that I didn't think would ever ignite humanity to the degree it is now. And it's extraordinary. Just like the poster I stood next to, be extraordinary. It's become extraordinary.
Now you're giving me goosebumps because same, you're speaking the language. When we tell our story, we transform our life. That's the tagline of Ignite. It's what we do. It's what we believe in. And folks, if you're wondering, how does this relate to igniting humanity? When you share a story, even Allison sharing right now, everything inside your body is opening up to compassion, to connection, to relatability, to understanding. Those are qualities we so deeply need. Even at the top of the show, when I'm talking about how we need to awaken to new things that's going to bring humanity together, it's not more policies, it's not more governments, it's not more injection of funds. It's actually people truly being authentic and honest with each other, because now we can really connect on a heartfelt level. Allison, share a little bit how at one point you were afraid to tell your story. Now you're on stage telling your story. Now you've written a book. I know you've got more in the works. You're coaching others. Are some tools at home that people can use to help move them in this direction and get them feeling more comfortable? Because a lot of times we have shame and blame around our stories or the things that we've been through.
I think for myself, what was incredibly courage creating was finding kindred spirits along this journey. So the Mind Valley Global Community sparked and ignited something in me. But when I came back to South Africa, I actually joined the Professional Speakers Association. And a friend of mine heard me speak at our 20th celebration of our company, of our main manufacturing company. She said to me, Alison, you're coming with me to the Speakers Association. And I walked into the room and everybody was so warm and kind and open. And there was a banner with hashtags. It was co-collaborate. And the final hashtag read, come home. And I knew that I had come home to myself and I had come home to my voice. But I can honestly say it took tribe after tribe. That's why my book is called Belonging, Finding Tribes of Meaning. Not just interest groups, but tribes for me are groups of people where you can be utterly yourself. You can be absolutely who you were meant to be. And there's no competition. And they just uphold one another and uplift one another. And it's such a remarkable community. So I would say to anybody who wants to just, they're scared, they don't know what, but join a group of people that ignite your courage, that ignite your love for yourself, because that's been my journey. And I speak tonight almost on behalf of all the tribes that led me here. That's been an extraordinary journey of my life in the last 5 years.
It's beautiful that it's a process, because some people feel like it's, it's one and done. It's a light switch. It flicks on. It's actually a process. And I think when we decide that we're going to dip in and wade into the process and really be in it and enjoy it for as long as it takes, it's so much more enjoyable, knowing that there is no perfect, there is no exact, there is no better than any other. Your story is your story. How you tell your story is exactly how it's meant to be told. Can you share a little bit for those people who maybe suffer from that? I want it to be perfect, or it's taking too long, or I'm incredibly impatient, or what are people going to think? All that sort of chatter that we have in our minds when we feel like we're going to be vulnerable.
Well, I'm a specialist in the barking dog. The barking dog dominated my entire life for 59 years. So I can speak with true authority about what it's like to be dominated by that voice that always says it's never good enough. In fact, I think I was the eternal student of self-development until I decided to come down off the mountain and start just being myself. Instead of doing another course and another sign up and another diploma and yet another diploma. And so it was really when I let go of that barking dog that I really claimed my power. But I think it's a journey of also embracing, because I was such a perfectionist, and I had to embrace becoming an excellentist rather than a perfectionist. Because perfectionism is not only overrated, it's annihilating. It's annihilating. It annihilates your courage. And for me, courage is the bridge to everything. So I had to learn to be kinder to myself and take more risks, because I was so busy hiding, never coming out unless everything was perfect, that I robbed myself of all my joy.
Talk a little bit about what you shared at the very beginning. You are now coaching people and using this very unique term that isn't necessarily storytelling, but what was the term that you used?
Identity intelligence.
Yeah, talk about that. What a great, great word.
That was what my journey became. I became the storyteller that spoke about it took so long for me to find my voice. And in that journey, I looked at other people such as yourself, people such as many incredible speakers on the Mind Valley stage and globally. And I saw that they had a razor sharp, intentional living. It became almost part of the genetic imprint. They had such a strong sense of why they were here. And so I started to look at people like that. How did they move? How did they speak? Who did they hang out with? And I started to develop more and more thought leadership about what is identity intelligence. Because we have EQ and IQ, but there's a Harvard psychologist who talks a lot about multiple intelligences. And I think more and more the world is seeing through studies on neuroscience and the vagus nerve, and that we are so much more cellular intelligence rather than just a mindset. That very often our cellular intelligence lives in our body, not just in our mind or in our thought processes. And so I started to uncover and speak more and more about that. And so people are starting to refer to me as an identity intelligence coach, because it's become the thing that fascinates me. So that's where that journey came from. But it came from the lived journey that then went into really uncovering thought leadership around that. So that was the journey into what I call identity intelligence.
Well, it's really beautiful because a lot of people don't realize how powerful their story is to create and help build their brand. And I always say, no one has your story. Therefore, no one has the same IP that you have, that internal, that intellectual property. And so use this story to become part of your brand. Are you finding that now that you're very clear, your story is you're using your story to help others, that you're attracting the right clients, you're attracting your tribe and people who are vibrating in the same way you are?
Uncannily so. I mean, a friend of mine in the speaker community said to me the other day, Alison, well, you're just a manifesting machine. And I thought, wow, nobody's ever referred to me as that, a manifesting machine. And so it is. When you vibrate at a certain frequency and you are speaking your truth at a way that connects so deeply with other people, it's like things just come to you. Somebody, an international PR lady, approached me and said, I can see you making a difference as a speaker and a writer. I didn't go looking for her. She came to me. That's just happening all the time now. So that's what happened when I let go of all my preconceptions of how I should be and just started being myself. And I have a wonderful business partner, Jabu Swani. We're building up a mindset development institute together. And we have these wonderful, deep conversations. And so we're starting a whole podcast, the Jabu and Ali show. And so he asked me these provocative questions. And the one question, which I think you will love, why is it so difficult to be ourselves?
Mm-hmm. It's true. And just yesterday I was on a podcast and he asked me, do you consider your greatest success? And I actually just right off the top of my head, I think my greatest success is that I just really, really like who I am. I just like me. I'm okay with me. I've come to a place, right? That my greatest success for me is that I'm just totally love me. All whatever I am, just love me. And I think that is the greatest success instead of striving for all of this stuff, which leads me to ask you the question. So many of us are looking outside. You even shared you were taking lots of courses in really igniting humanity. And you can probably agree with me. It's an inside job first.
My change came from the inside out.
Yeah, share a little bit about that, because a lot of people are looking out there, looking out there, looking out there. Can you talk a little bit how it all starts right here?
Well, my journey started in my body, not actually in my mind. It started inside. And at the age of 52, I finally went to the gym for the first time. I thought it was the most terrifying thing ever. All these lycra clad, and I bumbled in my big baggy pants. I was about 25 kilograms heavier than I am now. And something happened because I had been to self-development seminar after self-development seminar. I tried to convince myself to like myself, but it hadn't really worked.
Mm-hmm.
But something shifted after a year. And I must tell you, for the first year, I was quite miserable. And I was in quite victim mode. And my poor personal trainer, who I knew I couldn't do it alone, my message a lot is about you can't do it alone, or it's difficult to do it alone. And so I had a wonderful personal trainer who did leadership work. And so he really helped me. And after 1 year, something shifted. And then something more shifted. And then I started running. And then I was doing regular 21K races. And so something happened that changed not only the shape of my body, it changed the shape of my soul.
Yes,
but it started from the inside out. It didn't start from listening to other people. It actually started from me changing my life.
I am just enamored with you and in love with you and adore you and just love hearing your story. Thank you so much for sharing, folks. I hope that you realize the power of storytelling and the power of your own uniqueness. If you'd like to know more about Allison, please reach out and check her out on her website. Beautiful book called Belonging. And we will share that you can get access to Allison's story and many more of the amazing women in the Ignite Female Changemakers book, Female Leadership book. We're on our 24th book, Allison. So sometimes the titles. So I'm like, Ignite Female Leadership. Get more of Allison's story. So beautiful to see you. Big hugs to you and your family, your daughter, your husband. Blessings. I can't wait to see you when I come to South Africa. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you so much.
Well, folks, I hope that you got some interesting details from this show about how to awaken and step into you. Now, if you're feeling like I don't have anything special about me, I would say take a moment to sit down and, as Allison suggested, really go within and look at your story and the journey that you've been on and realize that that is truly special. And when you understand how to share your story with others in a way that is healing, your story now becomes your power. It becomes your message, it becomes your mission. And we at Ignite love to do that. We love helping people share their stories. If you'd like to be a part of one of our upcoming compilation books, we're super excited to invite you. Go on over to ignitehumanity.life and you can find out where we have some compilation books, or you can go to igniteyou.life. I'll have the team put that up on the screen. Igniteyou.life if you'd like to apply to be in one of our books. Our new book coming out is Ignite Creativity. We're so excited to look for new authors for that. And then we have new books coming out in the fall. But our big book we're doing right now is Ignite Humanity. 280 authors in the largest compilation book ever. Looking for people to share. If you'd like to be a part of that, please go on over to our website and find out how you can be a part of sharing your story about how you're igniting humanity into the entire world. That book is going to go global. Now, if you're over at Ignite Humanity, you'll see that we are raising money to build schools in third world countries. We'd love for you to donate. And also over there, if you'd like, you can check out how to be on the show and fill out our type form and talk about how you're igniting humanity so we can come to where you are via the internet and interview you on the show and talk about what the amazing things that you're doing. All right, blessings, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care.
Now, more than ever, we need to come together to connect with one another. We need to feel the truth in who we are and let go of everything that's happened in the past. We need to empower every person on the planet and awaken hearts, enliven souls, come together, laugh, play, rejoice, connect, create, and love. It's time to ignite humanity. We want you to be a part of something that will impact the future for everyone. We want you to tell your story, share your Ignite moment, show people who you truly are. Be a part of igniting humanity and making a difference in the world and all of our futures.